Good morning, everyone. Today is 15th of July, and we are discussing the Hindu. On the front page, we have a very important news coming from Byju's. They are conducting their national scholarship test. If even if your cat will give this exam, or even if your dog will give this exam, they will also get some scholarship. So please do not fall for such scholarship tests. Everybody gets scholarship in this exam. These are a trap for you. The next news is coming from the economic background. The fiscal deficit and current account deficit. If you know these terms, if you have covered your economics, it will not be a difficult article for you. So Nirmala Sitharaman is saying that our macroeconomic parameters of the country are yet intact, good. The fiscal deficit has not breached the target, although current account deficit has increased a little, mainly because of rising oil prices. She acknowledged that we are facing twin challenges. UPSC asked this question, what is meant by twin challenges? So twin challenges in this case is rising inflation as well as widening trade deficit. There are no important news for UPSC on these bases. As we move forward, the next important news for us is on editorial basis. The first article is about the change in leadership of AIDMK in Tamil Nadu. Not important for us, but if you are interested in politics, you can go through it once. The second article is about Sri Lanka. We are reading this every day and now, so let that rest for some time now and do not waste your time in following every minute update coming from Sri Lanka. This article is an important article about disability policy as per our syllabus in GS paper 2, vulnerable sections of the society. Disabled people are one of the most vulnerable people, and government has come up with a draft resolution. The article is saying that the political empowerment of disabled people are very important, but there is no such provision in the draft resolutions. There are some good facts and data that you should try to maintain in order to write good answers in mains. The next article is based upon a news which was in yesterday's newspaper about gender gap index. Try to collect some data from this, can be helpful in writing mains answers. This gender gap index is released by World Economic Forum, and India's current standing is 135 out of 146 countries, which is very bad. The next article is discussing that whether protectionism is compatible with the idea of liberalism or liberalization. If you have read LPG reforms of 1991, you know what liberalization means. Currently, government in India and across the world are trying to protect their economies from the outer influence, and is the policy of protectionism, which is opposite to the idea of liberalization that we adopted in 1991. So how these things are compatible and what are the challenges, we can read in this article. This is a very important article about forest conservation rules. Government has made some changes in forest conservation rules, and the opposition, the Congress spokesperson Jairam Ramesh, has alleged that these changes will encroach upon the rights of forest dwellers and tribals. Previously, there were many provisions in these rules which made it sure that Gram Sabha or the local bodies became a part of any diversion of the forest land for non forestry purposes. But now these provision has been removed or diluted in the new rules. The next article is about labor code. This is going on for now more than 2 3 years. The labor codes, what government is trying to do, the labor laws in our country is very cluttered. This can be asked in both GS paper 2 and GS paper 3, both from the political perspective or from the economic perspective. So labor codes in our country are very complicated. How to hire people, how to fire, and there are about 29 laws in the center and 100 laws into the states. So the central government tried to codify these laws in four codes to make it simple. So these are the four codes: industrial relation code, code on social security, code on occupational safety, and code on wages. So although these coded have been notified, but they are yet not implemented. The article is discussing about the challenges, why it is not being implemented, and what can be the future. This is an old article from the archives. This is talking about the pendency of cases into the courts in India. If you can just read these points and take a note of these, they are suggesting some of the changes which can be brought, some of the solutions which can solve the issue of pendency of cases, like e-filing of petition, affidavit and payment of fees, algorithm-based computerized listing, roster, etc. So you just go through it once and you will make a note of that. Ministry of Women and Child Development has planned to implement Nari Adalat or women courts, which will be a part of Mission Shakti. So in yesterday's newspaper, we have discussed about I2U2. I2U2 is India, Israel, US, UAE relationship, a new body, a new organization which is being discussed and which is being held as West ASEAN Quad. So many countries like UAE and all have proposed to invest heavily in India, which is a good thing for us. On economic base, today we do not have any important news. That's the end of the newspaper today. I'm sorry for not updating the newspaper for last few days, but let me know if these are helpful and I will try to be more regular in the future. Thank you.